morning, good day. This is your girl, Dr. Tay, here with another morning message. So, believe it or not, May marks 1 year since I started doing these morning messages. I know, it doesn't even feel like it's been that long, but yet here we are. I couldn't exactly pinpoint the exact date of when I started doing these morning messages. I just remember that it was sort of at the beginning of May 2021 where I started with the intention of challenging my vulnerability. And when I think back to that first video, I can honestly say that, I have challenged myself. I have become more comfortable being vulnerable, sharing myself with all of you in this particular platform. For those who know me personally, they know that I tend to be sort of reserved in very large settings, but very interpersonal in smaller settings. And so one of the things that I've learned to do this past year is to find that balance, right? To sort of be in that in-between, because while I am only speaking to myself in this camera, I am also sharing with a large audience. And for me, that could be a little uncomfortable, or it could be a little scary in some ways. But I recognize that I needed to become more comfortable being authentic in large settings. And not to suggest that I was being inauthentic previously, but I would say that it was really challenging for me to convey my authenticity in large settings. And so if nothing else, doing these morning messages have helped me to do a better job of that. I wouldn't say that I've completely gotten to where I want to be, but I acknowledge that I have certainly made some huge strides. And for that, I am truly grateful. Now, one of the things that I think is important for me to share about these morning messages is that when I do them, I often feel called to share a particular message, whether it be based on something that I discussed in a conversation with friends, loved ones, clients, whether it's just an idea that came to me while I was in the shower or when I was journaling. Like, these are messages that I feel called to share with all of you. And, with me and my spiritual beliefs and practices, I believe that, nothing is an accident, right? And so when I have these messages sort of playing over and over in my head, it's happening for a reason. And I appreciate that those messages continue to come to me in terms of what it is that I need to share with all of you, right? And even if everyone doesn't understand, or even if my messages don't resonate with everyone, for those whom it does resonate, that's significant for them, right? And so regardless of what it is, I know that it's something that needs to be shared. And I also recognize that when I do these messages, I'm not doing them for the likes. I'm not doing them for, people to follow me, or for, more comments or anything. Like, it's really about sharing these messages with the people, whoever needs to hear them, right? Whenever they come across it. And so I appreciate that that's sort of what drives me to do these messages. And I will share the moments when I've tried to sort of force a message. It never turned out. There are plenty of messages that I recorded that just didn't make the cut because I didn't feel like it was authentic, or I didn't feel like it was the right time, or the technology just wouldn't allow me to share it with you. I talked about that very early on in my morning message series about, having recorded a video and going through all these hoops to try to get it loaded and edited, and it just would not comply, period. And so I sort of had to learn that in those moments that's just not the message that needed to be shared, or it wasn't the time to share that particular message. So if nothing else, I do appreciate this sort of spiritual connection that I have with doing these morning messages. And I think it sort of brings me to my last point, which is that when I think about where things are going in terms of doing these morning messages, I realize that my intentions have changed. So before, it started with me challenging myself and sharing these messages, but now I feel like I have sort of a personal brand that I feel is attached to doing these morning messages. And that personal brand is to either educate, elevate, or inspire. And when I think about the previous messages, I feel like they fit into one of those three categories, or sometimes two categories, right? And so going forward, I sort of see myself continuing in that trend of either sharing something insightful, sharing something meaningful that is positive, or just being, someone's ray of sunshine because of my positive attitude and just being a cheery person. So I would say, if nothing else, these morning messages have been, one, a lot of fun, but two, it's sort of shifted my way of interacting with the world and interacting with social media. Like previously, I was just doing regular Instagram posts, and now, after doing these morning messages, I have a podcast. I have some other projects in the works that will put me out there even more than what I've shared in these morning messages. And so I guess I appreciate just the growth. I also appreciate everyone who has shared with me the significance of these morning messages and the insight that they've gained from them and the comfort that they found in listening to these messages. So thank you to all of you for that. And I guess to wrap things up, I would love to hear from all of you in terms of what your favorite morning message is. And if you would like to share, what are some other topics that you would like me to discuss? I am open to receiving your insight and your feedback, so please do share in however way you feel comfortable. And I will continue to do my part in terms of sharing those messages that I feel called to share, following my intuition, paying attention to certain conversations and seeing the opportunity to share that insight with all of you. But I would also like to get a sense for what would be helpful for you and how I can best go about delivering that. Okay? So with that said, thank you so much for just continuing to be with me on this journey. I am so grateful, so appreciative for every single person who has listened to a message, who has shared a message, who has commented, just everything. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And have a great day. Hey, thank you so much for listening to my video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe below. Also, I have some other recommended videos for you to check out over here. All right, thanks a lot and have a great day.